All right, let's bring in the news update for the time now. Members of the Central Bank of Nigeria-led Monetary Policy Committee will today converge on Abuja for a two-day meeting.
They're expected to take measures for more foreign capital inflow and curtail capital flow reversals and rising inflation ahead of the elections next month. Nigeria's inflation rate, which rose to 11.44% last December, is expected to continue on an increase ahead of the elections. Now, the 265th meeting of the MPC and the first for the year is expected to keep all policy rates unchanged, as with all meetings since July of 2016. Now, that decision will prevail despite rising calls from economic experts for the committee to lower benchmark interest rate. The Academic Staff Union of Universities will today meet with the federal government to continue deliberations on its demands.
Yeah, the union is insisting that until certain conditions are met by government, its members will not return to work. ASU President Professor Biodun Gunyemi, who spoke with reporters in Ibadan, Oyo State, ahead of today's meeting, said government must show concrete evidence of the payment of at least 50 billion naira revitalization fund. Another condition attached to the suspension of the strike is the presentation of concrete evidence of the payment of the promised 20 billion naira earned academic allowances and showing how the balance of 85 billion naira will be paid with timelines. The union is asking government to mainstream the earned academic allowances into the 2019 budget, which is still being worked on by the National Assembly. Now, soldiers have repelled what could have been the deadliest Boko Haram attack this year.
Indeed. Now, the attackers came in 4 vehicles and many motorcycles to Buniyadi in Yobe State, but met with their match in soldiers of the 27th Task Force. Now, this attack comes less than 24 hours to President Muhammadu Buhari's campaign visit to the northeastern state. Calm has now been restored to the area and security tightened ahead of the president's visit. And funerals have begun for tens of people killed in a gasoline pipeline blast in Mexico.
Yeah, there were among about 800 people who flocked to fill plastic containers with gasoline after fuel thieves punctured the Tula-Tuxpan pipeline a few miles from one of Mexico's main refineries on Friday. To mark the funerals, many people are posting signs with photos, names and descriptions. The tragedy in the city there has brought renewed scrutiny of President Andre Abrado's strategy to shut down an illegal fuel distribution network that siphons off about $3 billion worth of fuel annually from state oil.
All right, you've just been updated. Time for sports, and Mian Akiri is standing by. Mian, over to you now.
Many thanks, Ngozi, and also Mike. We have been taking a look at news making headlines, but then we'll dive into the exciting world of sports, where it was massive over the weekend. As far as the EPL is concerned, it was a London derby. Chelsea, Arsenal, and indeed it was awesome for Arsenal Football Club in that encounter. Unai Emery having the last laugh. But then let them indeed go straight to Brazil once again. I also understand that one of my guests from Australia is standing by. But then let's talk to analysts outside the shores of the country, Nigeria, as we take a look at the big games over the weekend. We'll start with a fan of Grêmio Football Club. Ajibola Yusuf is a Nigerian based in Brazil. Yusuf, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Well, Yusuf, let's take a look at the big games over the weekend. And what was it like for Brazilians who indeed watched the London derby? Chelsea, Arsenal at the Emirates Stadium.
Yeah, the match was a good one for Arsenal football team, which unfortunately does not have Brazilians. But Chelsea, everybody was surprised to see that Willian did not perform very well. I think Chelsea's problem right now is the lack of a very good attacker, but which I think will be resolved if, according to speculations, Gonzalo Higuain comes to play for Chelsea. But as we know, Arsenal played very good football, and at the end of the day, the better team won. According to speculations, Gonzalo Higuain comes to play for Chelsea.
Chelsea did have loads of chances, but then Arsenal getting the job done and the maximum 3 points. Mauricio Sarri, the head coach of the South side wasn't happy after that encounter, and he made a point which to a large extent may affect the ego of the players, and he stated that this set of players will be very difficult to indeed motivate. Talking to professional players in that manner, do you see Sarri falling out with most of the big players and N'Golo Kante being played out of position, and the talk of Gonzalo Higuain edging closer to Stamford Bridge?
Well, I think Sarri made a very, very strong point. I think Chelsea players were lacking direction. Everybody was not playing in their right position, so I think there has to be a reshuffling. I think he has to criticize them. It has to be seen as constructive criticism. And I think the players should react in a positive way rather than a negative way. There might be talks here and there, but I think Sarri has made a good point. And if he has Higuain in the team will surely do better than they're doing right now.
Liverpool were given a run for their money, conceding 3 goals. For the first time, we've seen the Brazilian goalkeeper conceding more than 2 goals, with Liverpool Football Club in the EPL. What was it like for Brazilians who took to the streets to indeed watch Alisson was the most expensive goalkeeper in the world today?
Well, Alisson is a very good goalkeeper, but we noticed that Liverpool have a lot of injury players in the medical department in their defense. And we have Alexander-Arnold, we have Gomez, we have a lot of players in the defense who should not be... so they are actually improvising players to play in the defense. So it is expected that there will be failures, that there will be trials and errors. But luckily for them, the attack came to play with Salah and Firmino and Mane deciding the game for them. Crystal Palace is a rising team. They have had their bad days, but they're coming up strong. So it's a team to watch in the English Premier League.
Well, another derby took place on Sunday. It was Fulham against Tottenham Hotspur, and what a way to indeed end a big game on a Sunday. The late strike from Wink giving Tottenham Hotspur the maximum 3 points at stake in this encounter. And looking at the top 4 position, which has also been thrown open with Arsenal's victory. The London teams doing very well. Tottenham from London, Arsenal from London. Chelsea are still up there, based in West London.
Well, Tottenham is having a very rough time because right now Harry Kane is injured. Son is an Asia Cup, and then Dele Alli too limped off the field. So I think their next few days and their next few games are not going to be easy ones because they are meeting their next game. They're meeting up with Watford, which is a team that has a very strong attack. So let's see what they can do with that. But their attack is really lacking up front. Well, just unlucky. So I think Chelsea is doing good. Arsenal is doing good. The top 6 is open. My fear right now is Manchester United because they have 7 wins in 7 games with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and we never can tell what will happen next. But let's see how it goes.
Well, talking about what will happen next for Manchester United Football Club and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, will it be right to say Jose Mourinho was the biggest problem United were facing, and it was a right decision from the management to indeed sack him and bring in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, judging by the results so far?
Well, I think Mourinho is a coach that has a time period. He has a period to work. Every time he has worked, he has an 18-month period of wins. After 18 months, he tends to go down. It happened with him in Real Madrid. It happened with him in Chelsea. It happened in Porto. So it happens with him like that. Meanwhile, they're doing good right now, but I think they still have tests to come. I'm waiting for the Manchester derby to know how well Ole Gunnar will handle that, and I'm waiting for their other games against the Big Six. So for now, I still think their pathway has been easy so far.
Well, easy so far, but then like to say, football is entertainment, and for those who understand the business side, it is really, really huge. I must say a very big thank you, Yusuf Ajibola, a fan of Grêmio Football Club of Brazil, sporting an Arsenal jersey, for talking to us live on TVC Breakfast Show.
Thank you very much. Well, you have to wear your team when you win. You know, you have to be there for them all the time. But when Arsenal wins, we wear the jersey and we kiss them. Have a nice day. Thank you.
All right, many thanks, Yusuf Ajibola. Up next is the weather forecast of Major City.